Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Darlac coming to you from YouTube. Today you're going to be following along with me as we do springtime flowers. So today, the three things that we're going to be talking about are three principles of design, which are balance, unity, and variety. And when we want to balance something, you want to make sure that the visual weight, which means, how you see something, is kind of even on both sides. We know symmetry is when there's a line straight in the middle of something and it's exactly the same on both sides. We're not going to worry about exact symmetry, but we are going to try to balance our paper with flowers of different sizes. So, before we do that, we're going to put our name. And then we're going to write our class code. And just to make sure that I have everything ready to pass back to you on the day that we paint, we are going to do our table color. And then we're going to flip it over so that we are ready to begin. Okay, so we are going to be making 3 circles to start, and I'm going to do some that are, I'm going to do one that's about a medium size, another one that's going to be a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to do one that's kind of right in between that. So we're going to be about this size, okay? So we're going to balance. You can see that we're not doing just one in the center, and we don't need to do 3 in a row. We want to kind of spread it out so it's balanced, okay? And so now we're going to create our flowers from our circles. And I would love it if you boys and girls decided to be brave and to try to do this without using pencil. But if you need to use pencil, I understand. I don't want to stress you out about that, especially when I'm not there. So if you feel comfortable, be challenged and just work with your crayon. If you're not comfortable with it, then you can use pencil, but just for the flowers part, not when we're adding the designs, okay? All right, because you're not gonna have enough time if you do all of the stuff in pencil. Okay, so we are going to make our flower petals, and your flower petals can be as thick or as thin as you want. Mine are kind of medium. I'm just going to keep going around and around until I'm finished, and you see that one went off the top of the page, which is perfectly fine because we're going to just try to fill up the whole page, okay? All right, this one, I know that my flower petals should be a little bit bigger because the center's bigger, so I'm going to make it even. I'm going to make my flower petals even bigger. And it's okay that I got close to that one, but we're going to go behind with this one. So this one's about the same size as that. So I'm going to do a little bit smaller, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to go behind that flower. So we're showing depth also, because you can see that this one is below these 2 flowers. So I'm just making bump, bump, bump. And then now that you see what you're supposed to do, hopefully your substitute can pause the video and walk around and make sure that everybody gets to this point. After you've gotten to this point, if you use the pencil, you need to go over your lines with different colored crayons, okay? All right, so hopefully everybody has this. Now we're going to move on, and we are going to add a couple more flowers. I'm going to add, I feel like I have 2 more areas that have a lot of, not empty space, but just a little bit more space around here. I have a little bit of space here, but I think that's fine. I don't need to add a flower. If you want to add a flower so there's not much background space, that's okay, but I'm just going to add 2 more flowers. So I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do, this one's going to be a little bit smaller, kind of the same size as that one. And I'm going to make a big one in the back on this side, just to kind of think if, the weight thing. If you have a big flower, it would be a little bit heavier. So we have 2 littler flowers. Now we're gonna have a little flower, so now I'm gonna put a bigger flower on that side. So bigger flower, I'm just gonna do a half of my flower for a circle. And I'm going to do, picking out a color, I'm gonna do turquoise. So this is a bigger flower, so I'm gonna go bigger in the background. And then whenever I hit another petal, I'm going to, oops, that's a little bit smaller. I don't like that. I'm just gonna go like this, and that'll be my new design on that one, so I can fix that. I'm gonna do one more even. Okay, so, oh, nope, gotta do one more. Let's do, we got red or pink. Let's see if I can find a red. This is pretty good. Nope, I don't want, because I have a pink there, so I'm gonna do yellow. It's gonna be a little bit hard for you to see the yellow, but it's okay. We'll see that it's there because I'm going to use a different color. So now we filled in most of our paper with, oh, you can see that pretty well. Okay. I had to check my camera. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add designs to the center of the flower and the petals of the flower. So we're going to do, we already talked about balance, how everything balances out. Then we are going to talk about unity. Unity is when you use parts of your picture to create a sense of harmony or oneness. Okay, so what are we doing? We're doing flowers. So unity is going to be the fact that all of my shapes on here are creating flowers, right? Variety is when you're using different colors and patterns so that it looks more interesting. If we just did one color, it would be pretty, but it would just be a little bit more boring, right? So I did lots of different colors for variety. So hopefully you did that as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add patterns to add some more variety. Maybe I'm gonna do zigzags on my yellow petals. And you boys and girls can start to do that if you want to. Actually, wait 1 second. I'll show you a couple more options of what you can do. And if you have something else that you're thinking of, that's fine too. So I had this little mess up because I didn't like that little petal. So now I'm just gonna continue to add little curved lines so it looks like I meant to do that. So now it's built into my beautiful flower. So I'm just gonna do curved lines that way. You can do stars, you can do hearts, you can do polka dots, you can do stripes, straight lines, curved lines, zigzag lines, whatever you would like. Okay, I got this pink one. Maybe I'm gonna do curvy lines just out. And this is totally up to you. You can do so many different lines and patterns and shapes to make these really cool looking. And then next week when we paint, we're gonna make sure that we paint this a different color, right? Okay, so we got curve lines. And then let's get the purple. Then we're gonna do polka dots. The polka dots will be on the side, and big ones and little ones. And what else did I say? I said we could do hearts and you could do stars. So you can go ahead and get started on doing your patterns. And remember, I want your patterns to be the same color as the petals that you used. If you did something with all the same color petals, then I want you to change it so that each flower has different color patterns. But on this one, it's only going to be purple. On this one, it's only going to be pink, right? So you got to do the same thing throughout the whole entire flower that has those petals. Okay, almost done with that. And then your teacher will be able to pause it so that you can catch up and get all done. One more will be my orange, and I'm going to do, I'll do stars. And again, if you have something else that you would like to do all the way around, that's perfectly fine as well. Almost done. Filling it up nice and making it nice and colorful. It's gonna look gorgeous after you finish. All right, so your substitute teacher can pause the video, and then I will come back and we will fill in the centers in a minute. All right, so hopefully everybody is ready with all of your lines and designs on your petals. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in the centers. So I'm going to do maybe a crisscross, kind of like a checkerboard pattern, but don't take the time to fill in the checkerboard because you'll be able to paint that. We can do cool circle designs. Almost looks like a sunflower. Maybe I'll do hearts. Make sure the harder you press, the better it's gonna look after you do when you paint over it. Okay. I'm gonna do polka dots over on this one. No, I did polka dots there, so I want to spread it out. Maybe I'll do zigzag lines. Okay. And ooh, I know. We'll do a spiral. Whee, all the way around. Okay? All right, so we're almost done here. The last thing that I want to do is I want to add a couple leaves. I'm going to use dark green, and then next week I'll come back, and when I go over my leaves, I'll use a light green so it'll stand out. So I'm going to just fill in this little space with a leaf. And then maybe I'll do one over here. Where else could I fit one? Maybe do a little one here. I would like you to try to fit in at least 3. I'm gonna put another one up here though, just to make sure that your picture looks balanced and it's not too much on one side. I think that looks yeah, I think that looks good. I'm happy with that. So that, my friends, is going to be your patterned springtime flowers. And next week, or actually it's going to be in a couple weeks, we will paint our beautiful masterpiece. So make sure to work hard, be happy with your work, make sure it's nice and complete. You push down nice and hard with your crayons, and I will see you when I get back. Bye-bye.